Hear Me See Me podcast is sponsored by Zenoti, the #1 cloud software for salons and spas. Because when people feel good, they find their greatness. I am Stuart Roberts, and I'm really excited to introduce my new podcast, Hear Me See Me. It's just over 5 years ago, I did something that changed my life. What it did, more than I could have ever realised, it helped me. I have met some absolutely amazing people. Some of the people that work in some of these places, many of them are volunteers, but some of them, it is their job. I had this idea after being inspired by a guy in America I'd seen cutting hair on the streets and seeing the difference it made to the guys who were there. This is more than a job, this is a calling. Hello, this is Stuart from Hear Me See Me podcast, and today I've got two great guests with me. I've been following the work they do for some time. I love what they do. It's close to my heart because, East London people, it's a West Ham based charity that they do, and I want to learn all about how it became about. Today I'm talking to Danny and Neil. How you doing, boys?
Good, thank you, mate.
Yeah, good, Stuart. Yeah, good. Lovely, Stuart.
Got a lovely view of your thumb, Neil.
That's the best part of me.
We're not taking fingerprints, mate. It ain't like that. We're not.
No, I've got something come up on my screen. Saying this meeting is being recorded, and I'm trying to press got it. I don't want to press anything in case I just get cut off. So
yeah, no comment, officer.
Yeah, no, it's not going. Can you see me minus the thumb?
Yeah, that's it. You're all right now.
Good.
Look, how handsome you are. All good.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to go straight into it. I mean, you're both West Ham boys. You're both sort of lifelong members of the fan community and that. What came about? This charity that one of you tell me which how it started and how it came about.
I'll let Danny kick that bit off, and I can come in later with all the facts and that. So Danny, start.
Yeah. So first of all, it's not really a charity. We help charities. It's a Facebook page that was set up. I went to a funeral of a famous West Ham fan, if you like, Dennis Lapine, very well regarded in the community. A lovely guy, used to run the coaches out of Hornchurch, used to drive the youth about. A number of celebrities and people from all walks of life went to his house prior to dear Dennis departing. And we had a funeral for him in Hornchurch during the pandemic. And you're only supposed to have 30 people. There was about 700 West Ham on the green opposite. It was unbelievable, singing bubbles, and there was coaches to and from the memorial. And we were all there. And I started talking to some of the young lads, and it was just as the pandemic kicked in, and we found that the first people to go were the poorest people that got laid off from all their jobs, and they started getting pushed out, and this has happened. And as I walked around and started talking to the congregation, you found out that there was so many that had lost their jobs almost immediately. And I came back home and thought, what can we do? How can we try and help people? Because this is going to get a lot worse. And I contacted Neil and said, Neil, look, you've done well with Long Live the Bowling, your page, which is a fantastic page that commemorates West Ham's previous stadium and a lot of memories for a lot of the old school. Yeah. And I said, look, I've got an idea of something called Hammers for Work. And I put it up, and there was about 70, 80 people the first day jumped on it. And what the idea of it was that if you had a job going during your hairdressers, you'd post it on our page as a West Ham fan. Because the greatest way of getting work years ago in the docks was word of mouth. Your uncle would tell your dad, oh, look, it's a bit of work over there. John, get yourself down there. So we use the community really to find each other work and support each other through this time. And then we started advertising West Ham companies on there, people that we knew as West Ham fans and genuine West Ham fans, not just people trying to jump on the page. And they started advertising their services on there. We've got Pete Mitchell, who's a lift engineer. I mean, to give you an example of Pete, he's such a great guy. A lady posted up last year that her mum in Canning Town, a stair lift had broke. She couldn't get up the stairs. She was sleeping in the front room. He drove from the south coast after work all the way to Canning Town, fixed it and went home and didn't charge a thing. So it started out as a job page, but it's turned into so much more now because there's been, I would say, it's a hard number because it's really hard to track, but over 200 people must have found work, maybe more than that, in the last year to year and a half. And the amount of people that have got work from it or that have advertised their work through it and had work done. So it's become now something that's gone from 70 people to 14, nearly 15,000 people. We then started to realise not just, obviously, people needed help with work and financial security. There was the struggle of mental health. I mean, I had a cousin, he separated from his wife during the pandemic and he won't let us see his kids. He's looking at his kids through a window because he wasn't in the same household. It was silly little things that the government didn't think about that was going to, harm the nation. And it's certainly not right for kids to see their dad once a week through a window. I mean, what's that going to do for their mental health? It's, so we added that on there and we got Mark who joined the group. Mark Chopper, he came on and started helping with the mental health side. And then Neil really is the driving engine behind it. I put it together. I've got a friend called Mark Sutton that's in the celebrity world and, he reached out to a lot of West Ham celebrities for us and Ben Shepherd and Irving Welsh, believe it or not, Billy Murray, to name a few, Perry Fennick. They all came on and done videos promoting the page for us. Even Noble's done a video for us to promote it and it's been fantastic. So we started getting the numbers up and the more numbers that came on, the more problems were coming out and we're finding there's other things we need to help with. And one of the areas where Neil really drove it and has been such an engine room behind it is the charity side and picking charities that we want to help. And I'll let Neil discuss some of the early charities, including Isla Kate, obviously, who was dear to all of our hearts, bless her, rest in peace, and all the others that then came out of that Neil started to say, Dan, what do you think of this one? And everything Neil does is transparent. He'll ask. We've got about 4 admins. Alexander does a great job. Emma, they're great people that work on this page. It's not just Neil and I, and we want to make sure that people know that, and it wouldn't work, Stu, without the community. Because you can put a page on Facebook and people don't buy into it. It goes nowhere. We've been going nearly 2.5 years, 15,000 members, but the members on there promote as much as what Neil and I do. And some of these members told us about other charities and Neil's worked with a couple. And Neil, do you want to let us know which ones we're currently working with and who we've helped in the past, mate?
Yeah, Neil.
Just like the
How about you, Neil? Who you been working with and who you working with now?
Well, as Danny said, when it sort of started, I'm a bit, how can I explain it, Stuart? I'll get a bit of time on my hands. I sort of like, I look after my mum in general. She's got a lot of advanced dementia, so I had, although she takes up a fair bit of time, as people would know, I do get a lot of time for myself, and I wanted to keep myself active brain-wise. Yeah. I had a lot of sort of physically there. So with the bowling page, it basically runs itself, and a lot of people have sort of met up and they've had a lot of reunions at whatever in different booths. A lot of people have been brought together through that. It's not anti-West Ham page. Some people seem to think it is, but it ain't. But that sort of runs itself, really. And then I thought to myself, well, when Danny put that idea with the COVID and the amount of work that was, that we could help people out with, I thought to myself, right, okay, fair enough, we're trying to expand that a bit. And there's a lot of people that need a bit of support because of the charities, you know yourself, Stuart, with your own great charity. Throughout COVID and even now, the amount of food banks that have sprung up and whatever, friends of mine and them, Zoe down in Southend or whatever, run good ones, but they all suffered. COVID just didn't pick someone out who was a cab driver. It sort of went across the board, and then it sort of opened your eyes up a bit. It ain't just COVID. I started delving into some figures in inner London, and so we wanted to sort of help some charities out as well. So first of all, we was a bit diverse because I come from Newham. I moved from Poplar, then back down to Manor Park, then back into Plaistow in 1965, and then from there spent 30 odd years in the borough. The ground was a stone's throw away. I knew Danny's sister, believe it or not. Danny don't look it, but he is younger than me. But one of the key things in Newham, as Danny did as well, and the grounds in Newham, although we've moved, we moved over to Stratford, we have to accept that now, but we're over there, and there's a big community over in around Stratford area and whatever, so we was focusing on that. So the first one we sort of got involved with was the Newham Boxing Club. They were suffering, and we wanted, to help someone out where a lot of youth go, boys and girls, and we managed to raise some money through Danny and through other little bits and give them a bit of money, and it got them back on their feet, and the club started opening again. So we thought, right, where else can we go now? So the ethos of the page isn't a specific charity where we're like a food bank, so to speak. We sort of help other charities with a slight West Ham connection or a West Ham connection. There might be yourself, might work for, let's give you one out, a recent one, the Magpie project, which we help now. You work there, you're West Ham, that's good enough. And they're in Newham, and it's helping. So that was what we wanted to do. Stuart, to be honest with you, if I could sit there, I said it when I was in the old fire brigade as well, if I could help every charity out with women, kids in it, or whatever, anyone, homeless, anything, I would. But sometimes it becomes overwhelming. So we needed a sort of a spectrum. So at the moment, we've got the Magpie project, which is for women and children out in Forest Gate. The AAA, which is Ambition, Achieve, Aspire, that's in Newham, and that's a bit of a broad old spectrum. They run some little clubs, and they help youth get into work, and they do a little bit with a food bank. Also, we've got the Newham Ability Club, which a pal of ours runs it himself, gives up his own time with his own staff, and that enables anyone, disability, physical or mental, to partake in sports 3 times a week. Then, as I say, we've got the Lolas, which is a homeless thing in Canning Town, Lorraine. Yeah. I'm sort of good friends with her. And then we wanted another one as well. We got the Homeless Veterans, the UK, run by David Wood, and we got involved with them as well. And when we first started donating those, we actually put a few ex-servicemen into the money that we gave him, enabled them to put them up for a week. Then we done it again. There was another week, so we was doing that. So
Can I just
anyone
say
who comes up,
that was a charity that it really stuck with me, Stuart, because what we've all forgot during the pandemic, while everyone's sitting indoors, queuing for 9 hours at Tesco's and to get your 400 loo rolls, these blokes were sitting on the street, but everywhere was closed to them. All the hotels were shut, the shelters were shut. So all our veterans that had served their country and were laying on the street had nowhere to go. And this initiative came along with this guy, and I said to Neil, I really like this one because we forget, while we're all sitting indoors moaning that we can't go out, they're stuck out. There was nowhere for them to go, literally, and it really did stick in me crawl that, these boys come out of the army, most of them come from up north, they come back down to London, and a lot of them have got mental health as well. And imagine being stuck on the street in the pandemic, there's no one around, and when I came through the city, it was dead. Yeah. So that was a charity that I said to Neil, I really, really like that one. That's something that we want to keep continuously to work with. Others have come and gone, but that was a real special one for us.
It's really important. Like I've been doing this 7 years now, and as you know, I go all around the UK and Ireland, Dublin as well. And the amount of ex-servicemen I come across. And the thing what seems to, when I talk to them, is that the army look after them while they're in the army.
And then when they're gone, they're gone.
The minute they go, they're gone. Yeah. And everyone that I've known that helps these people, the ex-service people, they're all just charities. There isn't a body or a government thing.
Well, there's no government body that does the transition from army to civil life.
No.
It's like, there you go. You're out the army, get your rifle, leave your boots at the door, sod off. And these young lads go. And where do they go? They go to London because the streets are paved with gold, and they're not.
No.
And there's no work for them. And, one of the things that Neil and I have tried to concentrate on alongside of the charities is getting young people into work, and that would include servicemen. Like, the young need somewhere to go into, or you're going to end up with crime, you're going to end up with problems. If you've got nowhere to channel your energy and your future, then you're just going to cause problems. So, through Neil's connections, we end up getting the apprenticeship scheme for Berkeley Homes for young lads to go in there, and that came about inadvertently. One of the directors heard about us and thought it was a great initiative. I'm not sure where that came from, Neil. Was that Paul, Neil?
Yeah, a friend Paul Ross works from as a thing, and he told me that there was and there'd be no how can I explain? There's no backdoor entry of it, Stuart. You know, everyone had to go through the same process, but he gave me the heads up that they were going to be rolling out these apprenticeship schemes. And we rolled it onto our page, and there was a good uptake. Whether they was all successful, I don't know. I know a few of them got right to the final stages, and a few of them were actually pulled off our group by other that were unsuccessful for the apprenticeship scheme, by other, if you like, small businessmen on there, or anyone, whether it be a plumber or electrician, or we've got a vast array of different business, and that's what we're looking at. We don't. How can I explain it, Stuart? When a business comes on there, we don't say to them, "Oh, if we get you," there's no charge at all. We don't charge anyone for TV, mental health, nothing. We've never gone to anyone. That'd be 2 and 6 months halfpenny, please, mate, because that's what we agreed.
Because most people understand.
People donate. They won't. We don't do that. And for youth, it is important. We targeted a youth club over in the Carpenter's estate. A guy named Yomi Adu, he runs it, and it's called Footstepz Academy. And I'm waiting for him to send me the video, but we bought them a camera where they could film the youngsters with their permission, of course. I wouldn't ask him for that without him consenting to it. But it helps them in their training games and in their games, and they have a look, which leads me on to the next thing that we done, Stuart. Just last year, there was a few people messaging me and asking me, Neil, I've got 2 tickets for this game, and I've got, if you can get rid of them. So I thought, well, that ain't a bad old coup there. So don't get me wrong, a couple of people, when they donate tickets, and I said, look, I've got 2 single tickets, adult tickets. Someone said, okay, Neil, I'll drop a donation into whatever. So we said, yeah, and then that money was thrown out into a load of Easter eggs or a load of something else, and it was put straight back up on the post, which they are. But other than that, there was batches of tickets. So I decided to sort of, Stuart, you put something like that on the page and you're bombarded. I was 6 hours full stop, down here till the other morning, 6 hours trying to go through the messages and allocate these tickets. And it's nothing personal. I don't do it on a personal level. First of all, I have to make sure everyone's when someone asks for the tickets, who they are. I couldn't have someone with a blank profile asking me and with no connections to the group, and I wouldn't give them. Simple as that. So we have a look, and it's done. But we give this Yomi 10 tickets, which we purchased for a Man City Cup game, so everything's legal. We don't get any concessions from the club. We don't make any money on any of the tickets. So in effect, we're not doing anything. We bought these tickets, and 10 of them went. And since then, there's been loads. I've got all the endorsements. Anyone who ever spoke to you, Stuart, or ever see this podcast, they're welcome to come on, and I've kept every single endorsement from every single person, whether it be tickets, sponsorship, money, anyone coming on. I've always done. How can I explain it? I purely ask them, Stuart, to just thank the group, because it's the group. It isn't Neil Taylor, it isn't Danny Panrucker, it's the group that do this. So when someone puts on John Smith, I'd like to thank this group for enabling me and my son to go to his first game ever. It's the group. It's not me. I'm, if you like, the middleman, the middle person that just tries to filter the tickets out. So, yeah, I'm well chuffed with it. Some of the videos that have come back.
What Neil's done is amazing. We set up. You can't go to the match, Stu. Rather than just let your tickets go to waste, you give them to the page. We know certain individuals that can't afford to go to football, and it's quite expensive. And there's some kids that are lifelong West Ham fans that live in the Borough of Newham that have never even been to a game. 35 quid for the game, 10 quid for your food, dad's ticket, it's £100. People just haven't got that money. We forget that. We live in a bubble. We all go up our nice houses and put our TV on our players, but there's people out there struggling. So we know the people that need these tickets, and Neil has found a young lady and her son, and she actually came recommended by some family members, funny enough, after, and she'd already got the tickets. And she went with her son. The video of her son's face going in that ground for the first time was priceless. And I would rather, we don't make a penny like them, neither of us. This is not set up to make money.
No.
But in this instance, you think we've got someone that can't go to football as a member on our page. They give us 2 tickets. If we can donate those tickets, then someone will pay us a donation. We ain't talking fortunes, might be 30, 40, 50 quid, whatever it may be, 20 quid. It goes into our charity pot. If we can't then allocate all the tickets, they then go to people that can't afford to actually go football.
Yeah.
It's keeping the club going. You know, the club should have an initiative for this. I'm not knocking the club for it, but there's people in the community that can't afford to go. You've got a 60,000 seat stadium. There are always empty seats. If you can't sell them, give them to a charity in the local area and get the support in there. And, you know, and also for the disabled kids in the area, it's very difficult getting into Stratford, unlike Upton Park. Because you've got the walkways across the bridges, you've got the escalators inside to get up to the top bit. You know, there's got to be more done to help these people, which Neil has started doing with these tickets, and he's gone gangbusters. And he has. He's worked last week. He gave me 2 tickets. They were really good tickets. I went out with my little boy on Saturday morning. I took him down the park, and I'm working on the tickets. And I took a door key with me. I was locked out because I'm concentrating on the tickets for an hour and a half. I've got to take a door key with me, and I've got outside down the park. Thought, oh, now I'm going to get back indoors. But you get consumed with it because we had so many people contact. I'll have them tickets. Yeah. You know, and you want to go to the right people. That's the idea of this. You know, look, the old East End was a community. It was built by people for people. If you don't need a cup of sugar, you're not next. Everyone knew each other. Like Neil said, he knew my sister. That's what we've tried to create on this page. And, you know, the charity work has been unbelievable by Neil and choosing the charities. And then the way that, you know, and also no money comes to us. It goes to the charities. We don't get all the money in, audit and do this, you know. If we can say, if there's a GoFundMe page for a certain thing, it'll go to that. Neil is transparent. Everything that comes in from the tickets that goes across, where it's gone, and we're spending it on, he'll come on the admin and say, right, I think this group need a few quid at the moment. Why don't we give it them? This is who they are. And it's working. And, you know, from someone not going to football, some charities benefiting £40 for them tickets, or someone's going to the game that has never been to a football match in their life. Yeah. You know, and they're lifelong West Ham fans. You've got blokes from Leicester that have gone to university in Durham, moved to London doing it as an IT manager, thought, oh, West Ham's cheap. I'll buy me and my 2 kids tickets because it's only 400 quid with a lot of us. Go and sit in the gods and watch football every week, and I'll only turn up to Man City, Liverpool, Man United, the big games. Yeah. But there's kids in East London that can't afford to do that. They're not going. We've had it with Liverpool fans. So, you know, coming back to one of the charities, the food banks, for example, Neil did a big push on the food bank, and you know, Iron's food bank was set up. The amount of people that were using it shocked me. You know, and I want to bring this up as well. We've all got our, you know, qualms about moving from the stadium. You know, to own a football club, you're always going to get a few spears thrown at you. But David Sullivan bought them vans for that Irons food bank, and I do want to mention that. And it doesn't matter that he's a billionaire; they only cost a few hundred thousand, a few thousand quid. It doesn't matter. It's still a donation that's helped that charity keep going. And, you know, whatever you cross you got to bear with him, that is something that was needed at that time, and he done it. So fair play to the fella. You can have your qualms about other things, but he did the right thing there. And that food bank has been fantastic, Neil, wasn't it? And we've had collections from Woody and Trudy down the
Right, a guy named John Ratomski lives further about another 60, 70 miles towards Chester, and he's a West Ham season ticket holder. He's at Southampton tonight, and he's driving down with a load of goods. And I've been a friend of John's for a little bit of time now, and he does do well I wouldn't use the word one-man band because there is people that help him, but he does most of it, believe me. And we started helping him with a selection box, an Easter egg appeal, and then it went from there. Really, our friend Woody and Trudy let us use the Vic pub for people to drop foodstuffs in there, and then Newham Food Bank were picking it up. But I've sort of moved around the food banks now because I didn't want it to all go to a certain food bank, so we picked some others. There's a little one called the Ascension Food Bank in Canning Town. And there's a few others. And another thing we done, Stuart, was just recently, we give out 36. I wanted to give 40 out, but it's ended now. But 36 Morrison's, sorry, that's the wrong word to use. They weren't vouchers. What was happening was in the half-term holiday, Morrison's were doing £10 to feed a family of 4. So all you had to do was pay £10 and your wife, your 2 kids sit down and you can get a meal for 4 people and drinks and sit there. So I thought, right, what a great idea. So we split that up, 36. I don't know where the 6 was the odd families that we give it to. But other than that, the Magpie got some and the AA, and I just sent them the money and let them disperse it how they felt fit. And it ended on the 28th, 27th, 28th. But if any schemes like that come up, I've got a few apps that come in on quick deals. There's quick deals, and they flash up. And if I see anything that's in the London area or whatever, or any charity that I'm near, I'll ping it over. And I'll say, look, they're doing, I don't know, they've got 10 deals there. And if it comes to it, I'll go back to Danny and the admin and say, right, I'm going to send them £50 and they can buy them deals. And I trust them to then distribute. And I know they do. I'm sort of on talking terms with, we've got about 6 or 7 now that we've locked into, and that's no reflection on anyone else we've helped. You know, we've helped someone on canA, we've helped Zoe. I've sent some stuff, but Zoe's, you know, down in Southend, and I live that way now. You know, we wanted to concentrate around the Newham and East London area, really. So, you know, you got otherwise, where'd you stop? We are the only group of supporters in the land doing what we're doing. Yes, there's Liverpool. I know Dave Kelly and that set up north. I don't know if you're aware of them, Stuart, where Dave Kelly and his friend, one was Liverpool, one was Everton, they got together and formed up the first food banks before Rashford got involved and whatever. Yeah. Although Rashford didn't do the food banks, he done the feeding people in the half term in holidays. Yeah, but so it's gone from there really, and you know, a few of them on Twitter come back to me and say, oh, well done for this, that and the other. But listen, it's just trying to, I mean, you know, it's just trying to help people out around Newham. That's where we come from. So at the end of the day, I still frequent Newham when I can. I go down to Woodies or in Stratford and listen, that's where I come from. It's not one of them old, how can I explain it, sentimental stories, Stuart, well, you know, that's where my roots are. No, that is where I come from. I've been out here long enough, out here in Lee and that, and it's fine. But I come from Newham, and, you know, of course the area's changed, but what doesn't? You know, this has changed. Well, around here, there was a bank and one pub. This is now become like the Beano of the summer down in Lee. You know, it's completely overwhelmed. But that's good. That's good for the community. It's not a problem. Yeah. But Newham's changed. Yes, you know.
The one constant is West Ham.
No, that's
The one constant is West Ham.
Is West Ham.
And the West Ham family.
Yeah, the club's there. You know, it is.
This will work.
And that.
You couldn't imagine Tottenham fans doing this, could you? Really, you know.
Here we go. You know, I was waiting for this. Here we go. I was waiting for this.
Do you know what I mean? You know, so you know they're not going to donate tickets, are they? They're going to stand in the corner second. They're not doing a finance deal on them. They're not going to try to. No, I'm only joking. I'm just knocking Tottenham because they went away and Middlesbrough lost again. They're just a gift, aren't they? That keeps giving to us. But you know, we've had Tottenham fans help us. We've had Millwall fans help us. You know,
of course you have.
Yeah, this is
we've got Tottenham. We've got Tottenham joy.
You know, we're not going to knock anyone, but you know what's great is that West Ham is the difference with West Ham and most other London clubs. Millwall's probably most similar to us. Everyone knows each other.
Yeah,
we all come out the manor. So you can walk in a pub and someone goes, "Who's that?" "Oh, that's so-and-so's nephew." "Well, that's so-and-so's cousin." Yeah. You know, it's not like we're all in everyone slept together, but everyone knows each other. You know. It's the East End somewhere where everybody knew each other, and there's a community in it that's the heartbeat of West Ham's football club that are still there. And when they've gone, that's when the club will change. That's when the ethos of the club will change. But while they're still going, the people that are born and bred around East London, you know, they're West Ham through and through, and they did help each other. And as much as, you know, they take the mickey out of each other, and, you know, there's a lot of banter between fans, they're good-hearted people. The majority of them, and they, you know, if you're struggling, they'll give you a fight, but they look after.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. You know, you still got there's Ponzi's everywhere and things like that. We have to be careful who we help, and you know, whenever we have vouchers, we had some Marks and Spencer's vouchers last Christmas. We asked people to tell us who do you know that's struggling and won't put their hand up, because the East End people are proud.
Yeah.
The person that puts their hand up first, I want that, want that, want that. You know, normally they're just lazy bastards, excuse my French, they are, you know, they don't want to go. Yeah. But there are people that were genuinely struggling at that time. And when someone else says, here, do you know what, he's having a bit of a rough time.
Yeah.
You know it's come from somewhere, so they're the people we try and help. And look, like Neil said, I'm only echoing, but it's the members that have made this unbelievable. 15,000 football fans from the East End. You know, Neil's the driving engine behind it. We all chip in to help him as much as we can at the moment. Yeah. He's been phenomenal with what he's done. It's an amazing page, but it's brilliant because it's got so much buy-in, and it only works because of the people using it and using it in the right way. And, you know, it's fantastic. We had a lady post up a few weeks ago that needed some milk for a baby. One of our boys that started a company through the page, James Elliott, he started his own company. He had nothing. He ran around, picks it up, drops it off to the lady, things like that. You know, it's that old East End spirit. And this wouldn't work if we didn't have that. And that's what makes it so fantastic.
I think the crucial thing...
it is not everyone on there is the page was open, Stuart, for Hammers for work and support. So therefore, majority of people are Hammers. But obviously, you know, if again, Jack Jones come on there and he said that my son's looking for work, I don't ask him to prove that his son's an Hammer, Stuart. You know what I mean? I mean, we can't be that. You can't. The page will never work otherwise. Yeah, no, it wouldn't work like that. You know, most of them come out of the East End or Newham, and there's a West Ham supporter. They message me. I do ask for a lot of inboxes, Stuart, because to keep track of what's going on the page. You know, you could have someone come on there and really desperate. We never name any names. The mental health side of it and the inbox messages stay in the inbox. They don't go anywhere. You know, obviously Mark will deal with his mental health stuff. I don't even ask him. I'll just say how many numbers you got on board, Mark, and he'll say to me at the moment, or the last count, we had over 40 that are being mentored. I don't get involved in that. The names never get put on the page. Same as anyone who recommends.
Can I just mention, Mark also helps people with their CVs. So a lot of people lost their jobs. Yeah, well, their 40s and 50s don't know how to write a CV. Yeah. So they help write a CV. Little things like that makes a difference to people.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't. So it's very. How can I explain it, Stuart? We was keen to emphasise that it's confidential on there, and it is. Unless someone, you know, I mean, even the tickets. I ask someone, do me a favour, could you just put a post up on the group, thanking the group? If you don't want to do that, it's not a problem. Not a problem. But just send me it, and it's there, you know. And people, most of them do. I've never had anyone go, I'd rather not. There was a family that didn't, but they were vulnerable, that the woman was, but wanted to take her children. I know that she went to the game because I see it, but no one else on the group will ever see that or elsewhere, Stuart, because, you know, you've got to have, it's just, I don't, you know, you don't want to compromise anyone or you know, and no, other than that, the group still, it's getting stronger, as I say, 15,000 people. Obviously, they're not all active at the same time. If they was, it'd be unbelievable. But it's there for all to use, and and it's just we was put in the club programme last year. The Newham Recorder got hold of it. They done a little small piece. A couple of other people have.
We was on Sky, Neil. We was on we was out with Kirsty Gallagher. The
Eurozone.
Oh yeah,
the Eurozone. Yeah, it's not a case of someone said to me about because the club are going to ring us next week, and what if someone said to me, well, what do you want us? We don't want anything from you. Don't want a signed shirt. We're not after things like that. No. It's just to put it up. Anything, it raises the profile up and gets more people on the page or whatever. So, you know, I mean, it's not a case of, West Ham, look, I mean, at the end of the day, if people see Hammers for work and support and people are saying good things, it's obviously, it keeps the club in good light as well, you know, because, and I wouldn't, it's not a football page, I don't care, obviously I care, I want West Ham to win, I never want them to lose. If they lose, we'll win or lose, we don't have any football material goes on that page at all, because it's not about that, you know, so, no, I'm just humble with it, Stuart. I'm as you know, keen and motivated now as I was when Danny asked me. The numbers are pushed on. Sometimes I wake up and think I have to write things down. Think, fuck me, this is what the list here, and it is. You know, it does take a lot of time up, but when someone will send a message, 2 people this morning have taken people on and they start work. So, and things like that are good. And that's what it's about, really. So we've gone back to the ethos of the work and sticking to the charities in the Newham area, really. And I've just found another little one in East Ham, a little one called Bonnie Downs. So I'll speak to Danny and we'll throw them a few quid because they put something up. They don't come and ask me. I see it on Twitter. I look into it. It's Newham. But then I look into their website, look into their bio, find out who's funding them. I'll get to know everything about that little charity there. And then I think to myself, right, just, sit and need any help. And, and it's great. I think, I'll just get a help.
I think summing up with what the work that's gone into this, I mean, it's hard to track the numbers on people that have got work. Neil, would you say it's over 250 to 200? Well, must be more higher than that.
Easy. Even if you're talking about like labouring work that's I've had people get labouring, take on youngsters, and they've messaged me back, said, I'm telling you now, that lad was brilliant. I'll take him on again. So what I'll do, I'll tell him, I'll say, well happy with your work. Any other work you want, put your name up. I'm not saying I'll take someone you're open. I wouldn't say that. But it's, whether it be people taking on for a couple of days labour, which led on to it gives people a work ethic to it. If you take someone on and give them a week, and at the end of the day, any other work comes up, I'll definitely ring you. Great worker. I mean, you'd walk away with your shoulders held high, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? And you've got a little bit of a purpose and a few quid in your pocket, and that is what
gives you self-confidence.
It's crucial.
Exactly.
What you're doing. You're giving people self-respect.
Yeah.
And at a time when people are, like as you say, they're struggling with their mental health, things are really tight. But what you're offering is solutions.
You've got 15,000 mates behind you. Wouldn't help you.
It's all about solutions, and it's about people coming together. And you said about West Ham, as a club, they've got, as clubs go, they've got a great sort of track record of helping and being involved in the community. Like a couple of times just before the pandemic, they've not been able to do it since, but they called us in for a day to do the haircuts, and they ferried in all the homeless from the different homeless charities, brought in mini buses.
Fantastic.
And the players came in.
Where did you go? Where did you do that, Stuart? In the ground? It's like in
the new ground. Yeah, in the new ground. We done it in the sort of like the lounge bit. We went up. Yeah. We was cutting hair. They had the food on the go. They had a load of clothes. Had all the stuff from the shop and other bits of clothes given out. But what I'm always a bit cynical, so I was thinking, it'd be a bit of a PR thing. The players will come and say hello and go. No, them players who came along. I've got to say, my boy came with me. He's a massive Hammer fan, and he cuts hair, and he was so happy. He gave Mark Noble an haircut, or a bit of a trim.
Oh, he's the one to blame.
Yeah. But them boys, they stayed there. They must have been there a couple of hours. They was behind the ramp, the food out. They was, engaging with the guests. Like it was a real. It was a genuine thing.
With the players we got on the pitch, I think it's the first time since the 80s that the players are connected to the fans, and I think that is noble. I think that is Moyes. I think that is the team ethos in the dressing room at the moment. I mean, Souček and Kufel, apparently they get a bus home from training. We ain't got no prima donnas. And that's coming across with the way they're playing, and that, look, West Ham's in a fantastic place at the moment, and this page is part of that. We'd see if West Ham were bottom of the league or in the Championship, how many people would be on the page. But while the buzz is there, the more eyes that get on this, the more help gets put out there, and that's what's fantastic. And while it's riding high, it's a good time to expose what we're doing and get people on there to help. The more people see it, the more opportunities come about. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, and I think it's crucial to do it in this way, and as you say, it is pretty much the best. The only club that's doing it to this extent. However, let them all join in. Let them all do it.
Yeah, exactly. We can link up and down the country.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah. There's no competition in giving. You know, like, I don't mind if anyone. I mean, loads of people cut hair for the homeless. Good luck. Good luck to them. They ain't got to have my T-shirt on. You know, as long as they're out there helping people, I've got no problem at all.
I think with what you're doing as well, similar to this, it only works if there's no ego.
Yeah.
If you have an ulterior motive for doing something, it falls flat on its face. To do what you do, to go and cut people's hair for nothing, you know, giving back, and what Neil does, the amount of work Neil puts in this, it only works if you don't have an ego, because you're doing it for the right reasons. This page is done for the right reason. What you're doing, the haircuts for the homeless, it's done for the right reasons, which is why it's successful. When there's an ulterior motive or an ego, or you're trying to promote yourself, that's when you fall over. That's when it doesn't work, because you soon get caught out, or you can't bother to do something. To go the extra mile takes a lot of selflessness, but you're doing it for the right reason, because you want to do it. And I think it's fantastic. What you're doing is, you know, I mean, hopefully we get Neil down to see you so you can sort out Neil's back and sides before he goes out. So,
there's only so much I can do. You can't polish a turd, can you? Fuck me.
I think
that Georgia Mildred for Seville.
Yeah, no. I think it's Ray Charles who last cut my hair. I'm just going to try and go back to the old loose 70s perm, but I just want it to grow out at the moment. But,
the Kevin Keegan.
Yeah, but it does need a bit of work doing it, but it's just...
What we'll do, we'll when we meet up with Mickey Ambrose, I'll take some cordless clippers with us, so I'll let Mickey have a cut if you want.
Do it after you're drunk in the... Go down the Vic, get really drunk with Neil, and then cut his hair. We'll sit a few people down.
I think we need a sponsored head shave.
West Ham where they're a bit too tight to get them done, so there'll be a few we can get in the seat.
I think we need a sponsored head shave. Mickey Ambrose will cut Neil Taylor's hair.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That sounds all right. Yeah, but no, it'd have to stop halfway, because it'd be a bit too much work for him to. But no, you can't exert himself.
He had a job 32 years ago.
Yeah, the brewery used to. I remember he worked at the Whitbread Brewery, and went back down and asked if he could leave. He didn't realise you had to work Monday to Friday. Oh, brilliant. But no. But on a serious, I really appreciate you asking us honest.
Thank you, mate.
And more so what you're doing. I mean, Christ, it's fantastic and well deserved on your recognition for it as well, really. And I'm not, trying to blow smoke up your arse. Well, I am, because I want a free haircut. But
no, you'll get one. Flattery works.
But no. Honestly, it's fantastic, mate.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, and about that club, what you said about the club, that's really good about what they've done there, But no, it's
they get a lot of flack.
I just wish
behind the scenes. I think it goes unnoticed.
They do. They have got a foundation side of it. But when I look, it's not West Ham on media wise helping. Or getting into the community, but they need to speed up a bit. You know what I mean? Sometimes I look and I think, you can do something, but then they do a lot behind the scenes. So
they do.
Yeah, I can't knock it. I can't knock it. There's a couple of people that they obviously know about the group, and a couple of them sort of look on there and that. So when there's recognition due, which they sorted something out, seats out for a lady the other day. Well, a bloke put, fantastic work by Hammers for work. For all we done was raise the profile. The club actually put them people in them seats. So there's no way, Stuart, that I want the club or anyone else for that fact. If someone does good, they get they get
recognition.
Told it's not about us. Yeah, it's not. We're just a vehicle that drives things forward, really, and hopefully raises the profile up. Like we do with a business. Someone's got a business on there, and I had a guy come out around my mum's, just a short one here. I had a guy come out, and the old storm's got hold, and a woman opposite knocked at my mum's, and it's a high-pitched roof. I used to in the fire brigade. If I had me ladders, I would have been up there, but I didn't have a set of steps, and I would need a trampoline and bounce really high. I couldn't get up there. Anyway, I put it on the page. nothing to do with it's me. I just put any routers, blah, blah, blah. And the guy just messaged me and he said, what's the problem? So I said, I've got 2 tiles, trying to do it. Well, he came round the next, paid him, came round the next day, done a spot-on job. Now, as far as I'm concerned, other people had already mentioned this guy. I just put a post up there, well impressed, thanks to Alex for his prompt action, coming round, sorting the problem out. Now, to me, that's it. And the same as he said, thanks to Hammers for work, I've got 2 jobs. That's all it is, Stuart. There's no, that's all it is. If someone, you know, and that's how the page operates. Page works like that.
Well, it's people helping people, and that's in this day and age, we're going to need a lot more of it because things are going to get really tight, and it's just about people helping people. You know. Well, thanks, boys. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
I've enjoyed every second of it. I'm glad I didn't have to, with you 2 boys talking, I didn't have to do much, so it's a big piece of cake, this one for me. But,
yeah, we're both quite shy, I think.
You're shy of retiring, aren't you? Area. But I'll finish it here, but I'll share everything out. We'll put all the links to the pages. I'll email you both in a minute, tell you what, you know, we'll get as much word out about it all as we can, you know, and long may it continue, you know.
And likewise, you know.
Thank you very much.
You know, I know you don't make money out of it, but if you need to pay staff or you need to pay for equipment to get yourself up there to cut the haircut for the homeless, mate, let us know because you'll be part of our donation. You know, don't carry all the burden. I think what you're doing is fantastic, and you know, if we can help in any way, mate, we'd love to.
Yeah, spot on. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Stuart.
Thank you, James.
Thanks very much.
Thank
you. It's just over 5 years ago, I did something that changed my life. What it did, more than I could have ever realised, it helped me. I have met some absolutely amazing people, some of the people that work in some of these places. Many of them are volunteers, but some of them, it is their job. This is more than a job, this is a calling.